The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
It's been some time since we shared a conversation with Mayor Paul Coogan, obviously way before the election. So with it being the end of the year, I think it'd be a good time to catch up with Mayor Coogan. Mayor, thank you for joining me. How are you?
Thanks for coming, Keith. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I actually want to start because we haven't spoken, I believe, since July, because during the election season, we had a weekly, right, we kind of want to keep our distance as best we can.
That's right.
But I actually want to go back to Election Day. I remember you saying at your event at Our Lady of Light, your first words out of your mouth was something to the effect as, well, that was something. It was a really tight election. You've had time to process it a little bit. What are your thoughts about it? And you know, you already announced that you weren't going to run again,
Right.
Regardless. So
Right.
what were your thoughts about that? How close it was?
Because I looked at that. I could not, because I have been in elections with candidates with a lot more extensive resumes, and I couldn't get people to take my opponent seriously. And that's on me. It's not on the voters. It's not on my opponent. It's on me. I couldn't get people to understand that this might be a different kind of race, and that things that were being said were not accurate, but the message wasn't resonating, and that's my fault, I guess. I look at it, I have people to manage the campaign, but I'm the campaign manager. Let's be real. Every candidate knows what they want to do, and it just was something that I couldn't get across to people. I'd hear these crazy percentage numbers. You're going to win by this. You're going to win by that. But I never saw it that way. I saw it because I was in it. That it was a constant barrage of negativity. I was literally running against a guy whose one of his messages was the city is failing. And one of his other comments was that we would send kids to a school to rot. And I was always floored by that kind of rhetoric, because that's not how I see Fall River. I don't care who says it. The city is not failing. I would never be involved in anything that I thought I would send a kid to a school to rot. I'd leave.
Yeah.
That's not for me. Those are the things that I'm just so opposed to.
Yeah.
That I was like, well, maybe this will resonate, and I guess he did.
Yeah.
I give him credit. He closed it up and he got it close, but in the end, the voters came through.
Even though the mayoral race is nonpartisan, the city did vote for President Trump in 2024. Seems to be leaning more right.
Yep.
Mr. Amaral
Yep.
is a Republican. Could that have played a role at all?
Certainly could have.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely see that. I definitely saw that. I mean, Republicans are coming up with this, message about no taxes, no expenses, the city's wasting money, But again, whenever you got into a debate or something to give us a plan, give us what you're going to do to reduce the tax burden, tell us what you're going to cut, tell us where you're going to look, never got anything. You get these sayings, and again, that was the way he campaigned. My compliments to him. He almost won, but at the same time, it's not related to anything I've done. In all my other campaigns, they were much more pointed. I mean, the first time I came out, I think there was 5 of us in a preliminary, and then I was against a council president, a former district attorney. It was just different races, and I don't have any problem saying I underestimated it, and I failed to motivate the troops, and that's all on me.
Do you think in general, particularly in the position of mayor, that the shelf life of that is a lot shorter than maybe when it used to be? I mean, you were able to get 4 terms.
Right. I think that's great, 4 terms, and that's why I'm not worried about running again. I think that's way longer than I wanted to stay. I look at it and I say to myself, 4 terms after I already retired from a career that I just absolutely loved. I'm blessed. I am totally blessed. And I don't, there's no regrets here. We work hard. We're trying to move the city in the right direction. We've done some tremendous things here, and I'm very, very proud of it. And I don't take all the credit. I'm a member of a team that works to get this stuff done, and God, we've got a lot of good stuff done.
So I do want to talk a little bit in general. I'll touch on some specifics, but in general, you know, with 2 years coming up, what do you feel your priorities are? In some ways, if you know you were going to run again, even though you don't take that for granted, I know, there may be more longer-term planning, knowing that, okay, well, if I get reelected again, this can maybe put off for another. I mean, I guess you've got to really focus on,
well, no,
2 years.
I really, you know, you don't look at this job as long-term planning. Right. You do think that way, but you know that at any time along that 2-year cycle, the voters may want to go with someone else to carry out the plan or to change the plan. So the things we put in place are to long-term make the city a better place to live. Let's fix a park. Let's fix a road. Let's work on the waterfront. Let's get Diamond done. Those are things that are going to be around long after Paul Coogan's gone. Those are the kind of long-term things I'm focused on. The policies and the things we can do to strengthen hiring in the city, making sure people are safe in the city. Those are things we can work on too. But at the same time, they're going to carry on way past me, but the next mayor may want to change those too.
Yeah. I want to get into some specifics. I actually want to start with public safety. You know, unfortunately, the Gabriel House fire had sort of moved things along in terms of the fire department. There's been headway there in terms of staffing there. Police as well. With the police department, and we've talked about this many times, years ago it used to be that there were a lot of candidates but not enough money to pay for slots. Now it's sort of the opposite. There's money there to fill some of the slots, but the candidates may not be there. Has that changed, and how do you look at that?
When you look at police, you know, with both the new hybrid list that the civil service allowing us to use to get guys in here from other departments, and with the climate over at the police department, I keep getting told we'll have a full complement of people within a year, which would be great. I mean, we've been down, as long as I've been mayor, we've been down 20, 25 guys every year through all the chiefs. So if we can get a full complement, I think that'll help to give us more flexibility to fight crime, and maybe strengthen some foot patrols, maybe some traffic enforcement, things we want to pick up that are equally important, but they might not be #1 priority.
Chief Furtado, how do you feel she's been doing as chief?
I think Chief Furtado's done a great job. I met with the city councilor yesterday, and he was very complimentary of what he's seen from her and the climate in that building. And I dare say, you know, you have these incidents that bubble up, but I think things overall are very quiet, and quiet in the police department is good.
And she's up for reappointment, I believe, in the spring.
Right.
Sometime?
We had talked to the city council about going to a civil service provision for our next chief. We're waiting. That bill is at the State House. We'll see how that comes out, and we'll see what we do going forward.
Shifting to economic development, next year, Route 79, at least the road work part, is expected to be complete. I mean, in some ways, you can see now, right, where the road's going and how things are shaping out. What's the latest in terms of next steps there? I mean, I know you had talked about, we have had conversations, you said regardless, Fall River's going to win, whether the city has control of that 19 acres or the state, or there's some hybrid plans. What's the latest on that?
There's still active negotiations going on with who's going to control the property going forward. Is it going to be, I keep hearing it's going more towards a partnership between the state and the city, so we can work together on that. It's one of the prime pieces in all of Massachusetts, and everybody wants it done right. When you drive down it now, as we were weaving our way through all those cones and the detours and everything, now you can see it, and it's going to be a great stretch. It's really coming along. I mean, between the Northfield Pier across the street near the Norton Pier, some things we're doing a little further down. It's really going to be something. It's going to be great access to the waterfront, great access to the train, bringing a lot of investment into the city of Fall River, both in the terms of jobs, taxes, and residents. It's really going to be a benefit. I get plans all the time about how the buildings are going to go and what's going to happen. Is it one developer? Is it multiple lots sold off? These are things all up in the air, but they're coming quick now because we're getting near the end of the infrastructure work and we have to make some decisions.
Are you hoping that those decisions will be made before you leave office?
Oh, I think those decisions will be made before I leave office. I
Yeah.
mean, within the next, oh yeah, I got to believe within the next 2 years we'll know what's going on down there.
Any update on the Bank Street Armory?
I have nothing. You know, I floated through that 3 times in my 6 years. Very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
Very, very frustrating. I just wish a couple of these plans had come to fruition. Every so often you'll get a call or you get an inquiry about something. And again, you know, we're not, it's not on the back burner, it's on the burner. It's just a matter of how we get to it and how we tackle it financially. I truly believe that as the ARPA money ends, as some of these economic indicators say we're going to have a little bit of a slowdown, we have to be a little more prudent with what we spend our money on. I think it's important.
The structure itself, though, it is sound. I know
Oh,
the
yeah,
city
no.
invested money in the roof and
Oh,
some
yeah,
other.
yeah,
I mean,
no,
it's not like
no.
like the status of the old police station in terms
That's a
of
different status.
Yeah. Let me ask you, what's the latest there?
That's a status of when is it coming down, not
Right.
if.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about it yesterday in a meeting. We're getting closer. I mean, I know this, see the work out in front. It's, you know, the water has to be connected, the sewer has to be connected, all the power lines have to be disconnected, and we have to get ourselves out to bid so that we can get the proper demolition people in there to get that down.
I know we've talked a lot about neighborhoods in Fall River. There's still concerted efforts in the Flint. How is that moving forward?
Yeah, we were up there last week. We had a little celebration up at Spectrum, which is near Cartel Heights, where we were acknowledging some of the people that have pitched in there. As you know, we've gotten another grant for Alden Street for $1 million to do some work on that street, which needs extensive work. The $1.5 million we got from the federal government for Pleasant Street, we're still developing a plan of how to best tackle Pleasant Street, whether it's taking some buildings down, making some, quote, streetscapes type of places, incentivizing people to move in along Pleasant Street with using money to help them get set up and get some businesses going there. All these things are on the table and they're moving along. We have an urban renewal plan going on for the Flint. And I do see pockets of sunlight down there that I think we're just going to have to work our way through. It's a targeted area. We've had our police increase enforcement down there, and we're trying to make sure we can get people to know that the Flint's a livable section, and it's really got a lot going on. I mean, I go by the old Notre Dame school, and that looks full to me. And those are people that are all moving into the Flint. So there's work going on in a positive vein, and we got to keep it going.
And over the next 2 years, we're going to see a lot more development right here downtown. You've got Anthony Cadero doing things. The former Sylvia School, right, was sold. He's got the property next door on the other side of the Cosmopolitan. There's other, you know, right, Troy Street, right, the Merrill Building.
Right.
I drive by there quite often. I see the big sign now. How will that help this part of Fall River?
Well, again, look at what's happened, and it's been one of the quietest things around. You have Northeastern University opening a nursing school across from some of the Cadero properties right on Pleasant Street. I don't think people understand the significance of that. We're going to be training RNs in the Primacare building, where on the floor above they're training doctors. They have a training lab up there for physicians. And it's almost a hospital, another hospital in the city. Medical employment is the biggest driver of the economy in the city of Fall River. I think I was at a thing last night for South Coast Hospitals. All in all, they employ almost 8,600 people. But granted, that's in Taunton, New Bedford, and other places, but that's a significant number. And just a little further down, look what went on with Daco. Tremendous company that is paying significant wages to people. You can walk in the door there and make a very, very good living. And that's drawing people down there. Look at what's going on coming down the other way on Bedford Street. That whole thing is being reconfigured into a streetscape road feeding right into the downtown strip. Downtown, we have got to get some new businesses in here, but that's going across the country. Retail is in a very, very difficult situation, but we're not going to give up. We're going to keep working.
We have begun the colder winter months here in Fall River, and of course there's always concern about the homeless that are out there. I know last year there was a little bit of tension, with the work that Stepping Stone had done. That has all been worked through. What are your thoughts in terms of how there's already been a couple instances where warming centers were set up,
Yep.
both at Stepping Stone and other locations.
Right.
Are you confident that it'll be somewhat of a more safer winter for people, as long as they are willing to
Right,
take that
come in.
support?
Yeah, we worked closely with Stepping Stone to get our overflow shelter in their first floor of their building over there. The second floor, we worked tirelessly to get them to go from 25 in the warmer months to the same thing they do in the winter months, 50 all year round. The Tomeo Center opens up on Sunday, which is going to be 30, 35 beds in there through the winter months. I was in there. I was in the overflow shelter at Stepping Stone. Both days we've had it open twice because the temperature was pitching below 20. We have a cold weather number we use because we just cannot afford to stay open every night. Other than our traditional shelters, that's like an emergency shelter. So we're going to keep working at it. People come in, we get as much information off them as we can. We try to find out what their goals are, if they're looking for treatment, if they're looking to go home, if they're looking for something, permanent housing. What are they looking for, and what are they capable of handling? I mean, if we have our workers sit down with them and do an interview, we can assess where they are, and we help people all the time. We had somebody last night that was trying to go back to Indiana, so we'll do what we can to help them.
Yeah. There's normally a point in time count for homeless population. Normally, I believe in January, late January, February. Since last year, have you seen, or has the FAST team seen that there is an increase? Pockets and.
I do think it bubbled up a little bit, but it's a different kind. As you know, we've been cleaning up homeless camps all over the city. We move them around, and we try to get people into our program, Enhancement Without Encampments, where we can give them sober living for 6 months. We try, but I think we're seeing a lot more what they call couch surfers and people living in cars, which is tough. Very, very difficult to track. They park in this parking lot tonight, this dead-end street tomorrow. It's a chase, and we're trying to get a handle on it, as every community is. One of the people who work here just got back from Charlottesville, Virginia, and he said there were homeless people everywhere. It's not a Fall River problem. It's a nationwide problem, and we're doing our best to take care of our share of it.
I want to shift now to schools. There's going to be some excitement next year with the new Diamond. It'll be complete. It'll be open this time next year. They'll be in the new building. From what you hear, has the financial commitment for the city remained? It's been consistent in terms of what the city is going to have to contribute to the project.
I think right now we're in good shape going forward. What's going to happen, as we talked about, some of the financial strains that are coming, I think, might limit that. But right now, I'm pretty sure the city will keep up its share of it, and that, along with funding the new Durfee, will keep going. It's going to be a feather in the city's cap.
Yeah, what's that going to mean for vocational education? Obviously, the Fall River School Department is doing more with CTE programs and the like. But what will New Diamond do in terms of helping that in the city?
The new Diamond is going to continue the same work as the old Diamond.
Right.
Diamond has a good name. I get people talking to me all the time about I need people from Diamond. TACO is a perfect example. They bring in a number of kids from Diamond to work there. H&M machine shop, Carl Hetzler, up in the industrial park, can't get enough machinists out of Diamond. It's a great skills school, and people have to understand that. Although now there's going to be some change in the admissions policies, people that go into the trades many times make more money than the kids that go to college. And that's just the way it is right now. I'm looking for a plumber right now that I'm going to be calling, and I know they're going to make money. God bless them. That's the way it works. Those those skilled people that can come out of Diamond, whether they're electricians, plumbers, auto work, they're going to make a lot of money. The same as the kids that are coming out of the Durfee shops. I mean, that cosmetology program, people can go right downtown in Fall River and go to Rob Roy or get themselves into a program at Durfee. There's great alternatives for people to get a skill, to make a living, to support a family and live a good life. And that's what both our vocational and our comprehensive programs across the city are doing.
Fall River Public Schools, again, enrollment up, continues to grow. I know there's been a lot of talk about the redistricting that's going on. How will that work? That will take effect next year, 2026, 2027 school year. How will that work?
Well, I think what's going to be is there's going to be some shifts. We're looking at a number of things still. There's a redistricting committee working with the superintendent right now on the best way to tackle it. You know, we actually did it a little bit this year when we got Westall back to an elementary school. We told people some were at Sylvia, they transferred to Westall. And we may have to move some people again. You know, the schools now are different. When we were kids, Keith, there was a ton of elementary schools across the city, and they all got fed from those neighborhoods. Now with the state's model of building, you know, one cafeteria, one auditorium, one school for 600-700 elementary school students, people shift around, and there's going to be some more shifting as we expand our pre-K programs and take some pre-K classrooms from our elementary schools. That's going to free up more spots in those elementary schools, which I'm hoping we can feed some people in from those areas.
You mentioned the pre-K. Next year, it'll all be moving to Bishop Connolly, where the city leases space now. I also understand that the city's interested in purchasing Bishop Connolly. Tell us about that.
Well, again, we're working with the diocese to see what we can do up there. Our goal would be to come to some kind of agreement with the diocese in Connolly, because that would save the taxpayers a tremendous amount of money. We did the same exact type of program with 2501 South Main Street. We bought an old school, we renovated it, and now it's a showplace. I can take you in there whenever you want to go, Keith. It's really a good program, and there again is going to give us the opportunity to expand some of our services at 2501 if we move our pre-K to Connolly. Connolly's a great site. If we can work something out, that would be great. Our goal would be to centralize our pre-K programs there and take advantage of the whole facility. It's 50 acres of land, and there's some recreational opportunities, there's some civic opportunities, and we'll do what we can in conjunction with what the City Council thinks.
So what's going to be the process moving forward?
It'll be a couple of years from what I understand. Next year's lease to go forward with Connolly as the pre-K program will open up all the classrooms on the second floor of the building. Right now we're on the first floor. I was doing a walkthrough up there the other day. They're big classrooms, they're functional. It's a school, but if we get the whole thing, we'll move a bunch of kids to our second floor and expand our opportunities to pull classes to Connolly, so we can open up rooms in all of our elementary schools, and they'll be over the next couple of years.
And so there have been discussions with the diocese. How long has that been going on?
It's been going on a long time. As everyone knows, Connolly also has a retirement area up there for priests that worked in the diocese for a number of years, and they live there now. If the whole building becomes a school, they're going to end up moving to another site that the diocese owns, where they think they can house them comfortably. I've heard a couple of suggestions they're talking about, and they are great places. I think it's the work of the diocese to work with those retired priests to make sure they're taken care of. They live in comfort, and they transition the property to the city with the council's approval.
If the city is able to purchase Bishop Connolly, would it be used, at least at the beginning, just primarily for pre-K? Would there be any other classrooms in there used for?
I think we would try to focus on pre-K initially. I've been in there when actually South Coast Collaborative had classrooms down the end near the gym. I do not know. I think right now, again, this is all a lot of moving pieces, and we're trying to think of ways to expand opportunities across the city and to get our pre-K program up where it belongs.
I actually want to finish with the holidays. We're at a festive time of the year. I don't think I've ever asked you this question. How do you spend your holidays?
I usually spend it with my wife. I mean,
Right.
Quiet for me is good. I don't have any problem with quiet. Thanksgiving just got by. We did the same thing we always do. I go to the football game in the morning, and then I go to SCA where they feed people across the city 1,000 meals. Then I went to Father Rob's, and then I went to my sister's with my wife, and we had Thanksgiving there. Christmas will be similar. We're going to do something together in the morning. Believe it or not, a lot of times we go to the beach in the afternoon and take a walk. We went down and took a walk Sunday at the beach, and I'll visit some people, and that's going to be quiet.
I want to give you this opportunity to wish the families of Fall River a happy holidays. If you want to speak to the camera there,
I do want to make one plug,
Sure.
though. December 19th, I would love to see
Oh, that's
people
right.
come out to our Christmas concert at Durfee. I think you will not be disappointed. These guys are tremendous. The Sons of Serendip, they were way up in the finishing groups at the America's Got Talent, and I think we have about 100 tickets left. I was just talking to Sam about it, but we'd love to accommodate as many people as we can, and the money goes to the toy drive for the police union, so we can get more toys in more kids' hands. I want to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas. We're going to keep moving in the city of Fall River, and inauguration's right around the corner. We'll see you then.
All right, and Mary Coogan, I appreciate your time throughout the year, and I'm sure we'll
Talk again. We'll
talk
talk
again
again.
on our weekly basis after the New Year. Happy
Okay.
holidays. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith.
And thank you for joining us here in FRC Media. Have a great day.